Welcome to Women in Engineering Rise Together, Breaking Barriers in STEM. I'm your host, Abinaya Inbamani, and I'm thrilled to be guiding today's conversation. Let's explore the progress, the barriers, and the inspiring stories of women from different parts of the world who are making significant contributions to the STEM fields. So let's get started. Today, we are diving into wild, wonderful, and sometimes curious world of dual career couples. If you have ever tried to negotiate a peace treaty over who is packing the school lunch or scheduled a conference call from the carpool lane, this episode is for you. Today's episode is called The Juggle is Real, Surviving the Nested Years as a Dual Career Couple. These are the years when your kids are still at home, school aged or younger, and you are also at the peak of your professional powers. It's like running a marathon, except the finish line keeps moving. And sometimes someone throws a Lego under your foot. Joining me today are two absolute pros at this balancing act, Pankaj Sinha and Geetika Tandon. Both are the partners and managing directors at Deloitte Consulting, so you know the pressure. Together, they have climbed the professional ladder while raising a family, and somehow they still seem to like each other. Geetika, thank you so much for being here, and welcome to you as well, Pankaj.
Thanks, Abinaya. Happy to be here, and hello to all our listeners.
Same here. This is Geetika Tandon with Pankaj, ready to share some of our experiences.
Let's jump right into the heart of the conversation, the daily realities, the strategies that work, and tips for surviving and maybe even thriving through the beautiful chaos. Let's start by acknowledging the struggle. Raising kids while maintaining two demanding career is no joke. Some of the biggest pain points, the morning chaos, getting everyone ready while pretending you are not late for work, the unpredictability, kids get sick, school schedule changes, and let's not even talk about the surprise science projects. The mental load, keeping track of appointments, meal planning, and remembering who is allergic to what this week. So, can you walk us through a typical weekday morning in your household? Paint us a picture. Bonus points for any coffee related emergencies.
Okay, that was really painting a picture of what morning used to look like in our household, and really there is no structure to any of these mornings. But mostly, what happened was the way we have worked through this is one of us would get up slightly earlier, get the kids ready, make them breakfast, and get them to school, and then make it to work. Whereas the other parent on that day would just get up earlier, get up, get ready, and go straight to work and be there at work early. Whereas the second one would do all the morning chores and be there at work later. On the other hand, in the afternoon, that the same person who went early would get up earlier or take leave work earlier, go to school or daycare, wherever the kids were, pick them up, and then do dinner. Whereas the person who went later would come back home later. So it would literally ask, is it your early day or is it my early day? And that's how the day used to begin.
Yeah, and let's talk about throw in the early calls there. The meetings when your client calls you unexpectedly, your manager calls you unexpectedly. The kid is not really sick, but acting sick, right? And doesn't want to go to school that day. So total chaos for sure.
That's beautiful. I love the concept. It's incredible that you both managed to juggle so much before even stepping into the office. Such a great insight. Now, let's talk about unpredictability. We all know that even the best laid plans can be derailed by a surprise fever, a canceled meeting, or the classic, I forgot my homework at 8:59 a.m. How did you both handle those curveballs when your jobs are demanding and your kids as well?
Yeah, it was pretty normal for things to sort of go haywire. I think an important thing is one to stay very calm, right? I always used to tell myself it is what it is, right? And having the communication at work is very important so people know the situation that you're in. And when being late or missing meetings or something like that should become a pattern, it's important to gauge that pattern early. And if that does happen, then go to a plan B, right, to see how things can change.
Yeah, and I would add to that. I would just say that in addition to all of that, communication at work and flexibility at work. So both of us, wherever we were, and whichever sort of we've moved around in different corporate uh, areas. I've actually moved companies as well. Pankaj moved from IBM to Deloitte. I moved from various corporate organizations as well. And but we made sure we're in a place that gives us flexibility so that if things go wrong, we have that ability to go in later. We have that ability to work from home. We have that ability to make up for that work later. So keeping those options open and communicating at work sort of worked out well for us.
I can't even imagine the stress of managing that on top of everything else. It's inspiring to hear how you both handle the curveballs. Another topic that's close to my heart is the mental load. It's not just about doing the task, it's about remembering them too. Like, who else here has woken up at 2 a.m. remembering it's pajama day at school? So, how did you share that invisible labor? Has your approach changed over years, or do you just draw straws?
And thank you for that, Abinaya. And actually, I don't think we have a process in place. I think we just draw straws. But to the mental load, I would say give yourself a break. There are going to be places where you're going to forget things. There are going to be times when you're going to. I remember, reaching one of the schools and one day and realizing, oh my gosh, there was some kind of bake sale going on. I had no idea. I'd forgotten all about it. So. And it was okay. I just told my daughter, that's fine, we forgot about it, that's okay. Let's remember next time. And I think they were okay. Same thing, communicating with the kids and letting them know that you're doing the things that you're doing, that you have this meeting at work or you have this commitment at work, just like they have their commitments and their homeworks and their work. So I think that communication with the kids and being going easy on the kids and yourself helped us get through those times when it's just you feel like there's too much and everything is coming your way.
Absolutely. And I think I definitely lucked out with a partner like Geetika. She hardly forgets anything. But I do, which does involve some mental stress, right, on her part. But what we try and do is make those invisible things visible together, right? So create some sort of lists, who does what, but really as things are identified, really take the ownership and run with things, right? So try and help out each other as much as possible and balance sort of that physical and the mental stress that comes along with all of the chores that we do.
That's beautiful. It's so easy to forget the invisible load, but I love how you both share the responsibility. It's so relatable. Evolving and being intentional is so important. And with all this juggling, it's easy to feel like you are dropping the balls at work, at home, or both. Let's talk about guilt. Did you ever wrestle with guilt? And if so, how do you keep it from turning into a full blown wrestling match?
Okay, so I totally agree with that. And I think there is no other way to live except with guilt. We all live with guilt. There's always guilt about something that you haven't done. But I think the things that helped are setting boundaries at work and setting boundaries at home. By setting boundaries at work, during the years where my kids were growing up, the time between 6 to 8 was very precious to me. So no matter what, unless it's absolutely and completely necessary and we have something due tomorrow, 6 to 8 was my family time, and there's no way that anything came in between that. So, and then again, after 8 o'clock, there was a time we always set a certain time where the kids would go to sleep. So we had dinner time, and then we had sleep time, and then after the kids went to sleep, we caught up on work again. So I think it's also about, the second thing was about quality time. I don't think it is ever about quantity of time you're spending, but the quality of time. So by setting these boundaries, we were able to spend whatever time we did. We spent quality time. And the third was outsourcing as much as possible. So we always took help. It takes a village. I totally believe that it takes a village. So we took the help of grandparents when needed. We took the help of friends when needed. We took the help of, we kept housekeeping help. We kept cooking help. We kept gardening help. Anything that helped us to give quality time to our kids.
Absolutely. But the one thing is, I differ from Geetika on this point. I do not live with guilt. I tell myself we are doing the best, and we are doing okay. There are certain things that, I personally keep an eye on. And as long as those things are going well, I feel life is good for our family. And those things are obviously our health of our kids, education for our kids, making sure they are happy and they are thriving at school and in the community. And that, independence is other things, making sure that kids are sort of independent and learning things and doing things by themselves. And then the last is obviously the career. As long as we are happy in our career, we are growing in our career, we are good. So those are the kinds of things that I always sort of kept an eye on. And if that was okay for me, nothing else really mattered.
Now you can see he was the voice of the calm amongst us.
Even I was about to tell that, Geetika. Such an important point. Thank you for sharing. Setting boundaries, spending quality time, taking help of the people, that really matters. That's great. So it's a challenge for many, but it's great to hear your approach. Now let's talk about like how actually works. So we have outlined the challenges. Let's start to talk about solutions. First up, communication, because if you can survive a family group chat, you can survive anything. Do you have any communication rituals or systems like weekly meetings, shared calendars, or smoke signals that help you coordinate everything?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for us, we were fortunate that for most of our careers, I think we ended up sort of working for same organization. So we were pretty much in touch with each other. So using chats, obviously, a lot. Using, we've tried a lot of things over the years, having lists on our refrigerators. We were fortunate that we had grandparents sort of stay with us for a while. So having them as a conduit sometimes is yeah, please remind Geetika that these 5 things when she comes back at 3 p.m. So all of those things I think helped us.
Yeah, totally agree. I think we have a lot of funny stories. Since we were in the same organization, we would always use the internal organization chat for some time reminding each other. And I remember we were in an important meeting where I was sharing my screen, and a screen pops up. Are you picking up this one after school today? And so that the whole mood in the meeting changed, and everyone started talking about their kids and how they pick them up. And then some of the junior people in the meeting reminded me how to disable the pop-up when I'm screen sharing. So I learned something that day. So
And in that instance, she did say, "No, it's your turn." So do not remind me.
we had those too. No, it wasn't supposed to be mine. I did it yesterday.
But again, being accommodative, just again looking at our schedules on the fly and saying, "Hey, I've got these two meetings. What do you have? Which ones are important? Which ones can you take on your commute back?" And just having that understanding and helping each other through it.
True. The grandparents are truly a great treasure for us when we are, improvising in our career. And the pop-up incident, what you told, is lovely. It's clear that a little planning goes a long way in keeping things running smoothly. So, what specific tools or apps do you use? So, are you a Google Calendar family, or do you prefer the classy sticky note on the fridge? That's what you mentioned, right?
Yeah, the classic sticky note on the fridge.
That's
Awesome.
the thing which that's the thing which we do in most of our households. Great. Okay. So I love how you have integrated tech into your routine. It's so efficient, yet it feels personal too. So let's talk about dividing and conquering. Every household has its own style. Some go by skill set, and some by availability, and some by who lost the rock, paper, scissors. So, how do you decide who does that? And have you ever had to renegotiate the responsibility, say, after a promotion or particularly a rough week? It seems one partner is very calm, right? So, how do you balance this?
Yeah, I think having that balance and understanding that one may have a different promotion, or maybe it at a different career level, that did not play a part for us. I think for us it was like, for both of us, our along with our families, career was very important to both of us. That was one of our major sources of identity, along with all of our other identities, right? So making sure that we have a balance across all of the things we do, really came into play. And then there were times when I was working from home for a couple of years when the kids were little. There were times when I was traveling. Geetika was home. So we've made some sort of major adjustments across our lives. But I think the focus was sort of on balancing, and never to stretch sort of one agreement or agreement we had, right?
Yeah. I think I would add to that and say that both of us were clear on that both of our careers are important and significant, and we should let each other thrive. So we gave each other that freedom to thrive and grow our careers and support each other with all the help that is needed. But we did use our skill sets. So fair, when we had parties, he's the people person, so he would be one who's greeting the guests, and I'm the operational person, so I would be the one making sure the things behind the scenes are running fine. So do have our strength areas, and whenever it's a people skill set, it's like he's in front. Whenever it's operational stuff, I do it. But regardless, I think we want to give each other the bandwidth to do the things that we want to do.
That's such a great approach. It's lovely. It's about playing to each other's strength, right? Now, outsourcing and automation, whether it's grocery delivery, meal kits, or a robot vacuum that doubles as a pet, what has been the biggest game changer for your sanity?
Oh, for us, it's been keeping cooking help, and let's start. We started with nannies to help us when the kids were younger, and then as the kids grew older, we kept after school help, who would also cook meals and drive them to the various activities, and then when the kids became even older and the driving was not needed as much, we still kept cooking help, where a cook would come and make us fresh meals, and those meals would be ready once or twice a week she would come and make sure the meals are done. So that really helped, so that when we came home, it's not like we're spending an hour and a half cooking. We could just heat the meals, have good, and have the faith that our kids are having, or the family is having, home cooked meal, not packaged frozen products. So that was important to us, and we use that to the best, to make it easy for us, let's just say.
Yeah, absolutely. And that it wasn't easy, right? At our early years, obviously we weren't making a lot of money, but we did prioritize that outsourcing, right? Using everything from what you mentioned, the grocery delivery or the meal kits. But that was basically, we were at that point, our mindset was to maximize the time with our kids and family, and balance that across with the time we spent at work. So even though financially we did take a hit, but I think in the long term we feel it panned out well.
That's such a smart way to keep your sanity intact. And next is really a personal question where we had already talked about boundaries, but with the two demanding careers, how do you set the boundaries so you don't end up answering the emails during the bedtime stories? This happens in most of the families. So how do you set the boundaries?
Yeah, I think again, it's also about communicating and setting your boundaries at work. Like I said, between while the kids were growing up, 6 to 8, between 6 p.m.
Yes.
to 8 p.m. it was precious family time, and I did not answer emails. There are a few times when even that was required, because you're going live, or something urgent is happening, or something is due the next day. But other than that, as a rule, at least I made sure between 6 to 8 p.m. I never answered any emails or never even looked at my phone. So and people at work were aware of that.
Yeah, and if I didn't show up for dinner time between 6 and 8, then I was pretty much locked out of the house. So I had to make sure that I did show up, and so yeah, dinner time was really really precious for ourselves and for our kids. Weekend was sacred, and for most part, right? There are obviously exceptions when things are going on, and it's also that mutual understanding then that, okay, I do realize work load is heavy for you, or going to be heavy for you the next couple of weeks, and I'm having that communication and teeing that up, so the other person is aware of what more they sort of need to take on. Right, but dinner time for me, again, weekends, and also the morning ritual and the drop offs, I really cherished dropping off the kids, no matter how painful that was, but having the time, spending that time with them, was really precious during those mornings.
That's beautiful. The 6 to 8 precious time is really a wonderful concept, which many of our audience will follow, no, after listening to this podcast. I love the way you both are intentional about creating space for each other. That's a crucial aspect of maintaining a healthy work-life balance when both of us want to thrive in the career. Finally, self care and couple time. In the midst of all this, how do you recharge individually and together? This is really important, Geetika. This is the most expected question, which all the young moms and dads would love to hear. So please tell us, no, how it's more exciting than folding the laundry in silence.
Yeah, so I think just like we had our 6 to 8, we were very so one thing, I think having a good social circle is very important, and I am thankful to be surrounded by. We're both thankful to be surrounded by a great group of friends, and those friends have really been our lifeline in times when kids were growing up, sharing issues, sharing ideas, giving each other support. And then just like 6 to 8 was important, Saturday evenings were precious to us. So Saturday evenings was always socializing. We either socialized with friends, or we went out together and ate out as a family. So that was our recharging time. And then both Pankaj and I made sure that, we did take time out and did trips as a couple together, or maybe dinners as a couple together. We, sometimes just take off, if there are grandparents at home, just take off work to go work and get a drink together before we came back home, so that we got time to talk to each other. So we did intentionally take time off to recharge.
Yeah, and having some rituals, I think, for yourself as well. Whatever sort of our individual hobbies, right? So if it's reading book, if it's going playing golf, watching sports, or just going grocery shopping by yourself, right? So having that. Me time, whether it's in the morning or lunchtime or after dinner, having some of those rituals sort of really help.
I love how you prioritize the self care and couple time by having the rituals. So it's a great reminder for all of us to keep ourselves in the mix too. Let's hear from our community. Here are a few stories from other dual career couples who have managed to keep the chaos under control. One couple blocks off the Sunday night for a family logistic meeting. They go over the calendars, assign tasks, set expectations for the week. It's like a board meeting, but with more snacks and less PowerPoint. Another household swears by weekend batch cooking. They prepare 3 meals for the week ahead, which means fewer what's for dinner debates and more time for, well, anything else. And the third family uses time of passes. If one parent is overwhelmed and needs a break, the other takes over. No guilt, no questions, just support. So, which of these strategies do you use or find inspiring? And are there any other hacks you would add from your own experience?
I think, yeah, all of those resonate with me. Especially, I think we did the batch cooking. So Sunday was sort of our cooking time. If we had hired help, then working with them to sort of prepare some meals for the week. Also, I would add just using a lot of automation. I think Geetika taught this to me early, automating our bills, our grocery lists, and that really helps sort of cut down time. And then with outsourcing, you all heard we are big on outsourcing, but just outsourcing strategically as well, right? It's like you want to figure out what are those activities where you want to be with the kids or you want to be with each other, and really not outsource those things. Or you may want to do something just for yourself as well, right? So those were kind of some of the hacks that we used.
Yeah, and I think in not so many words, time off passes, we always gave that. If one person needed it, because a lot is going on at work, that always happened. So I think we always gave each other time off passes.
Thank you. Real solutions from real families. Love it. So, before we wrap up, I would like a quick takeaway from each of you. If you could give just one piece of advice to other dual career couples navigating the next years, what would it be?
All right. I think one of the things we have to remember that none of us probably went to a parenting school growing up, right? So we all watch others and learn, right? And we do the best we can. So please be kind to yourselves as parents, I would say. We realized that we really cannot do everything. So decide what matters to you, what matters to your family, and prioritize that on a weekly basis, or maybe even a daily basis. There are weeks where career might be more important. There are weeks where focusing on family things might be more important. But biggest of all, give yourselves credit for the amazing work that we all do as parents.
Yeah, and I would add to that same, give yourself a break. Do not take these things too seriously. There are no right solutions. We're all doing the best we can. Set boundaries at work, Because if you don't set boundaries at work, work can overwhelm you. So, as much as you love it, I would say set boundaries at work and set boundaries at home, because both can overtake and overcome you if you don't set your own boundaries. And then pick your battles. Not every battle is worth fighting. And lastly, your kids are the kids love to be taken along in the journey. The more you bring them along, the more you communicate with them and tell them what you're doing, make them a part of your day. I think that really helps in building a cohesive family.
That's beautiful. Thank you both for sharing your journey and your wisdom. To our listeners, the juggle is real, but so is the joy. Building career and raising a family at the same time is one of the hardest and most rewarding things you will ever do. And if you have a story to share, we would love them to hear from you. Until next time, I'm Abinaya Inbamani, and this is Dual Career Couple. Keep communicating, keep supporting each other, and don't forget to laugh at the chaos every once in a while. Thank you for joining us in this episode of Women in Engineering Rise Together. We hope you found the stories told today both informative and inspiring. Remember, the journey towards gender equality in STEM is ongoing and every effort counts. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. Until next time, keep exploring, keep innovating, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. I'm Abinaya Inbamani, and this has been Women and Engineering Rise Together. Goodbye.